Okay, welcome to topic 6. Unfortunately, when I printed this one out, it seemed to have printed down near the bottom of the page, but we'll do our best. I don't understand why people, every fucking person, is so bad to each other so fucking often. It doesn't make sense to me. Judgment, control, all that, the whole spectrum. Compare how the characters in these texts reject control and judgment. Alright, so this is the propositional statement here, but it has to be understood in the context of the quote. So there's two aspects here. So there's the control, right? Societal control over them, but there's also how they're judged, right? Every fucking person is so bad to each other, right? Judgment, control. Okay, and then judgment, control, we're going to talk about there. But there's also this bad to each other, okay? So I think we need to address that in context of both. Right, so in regards to bad to each other, we'll start with that. We'll kind of make that all right up here because we have the room. This is like relationships. And authentic relationships. Okay, so let's talk about control. Put that up here. So with control we have societal control. Yeah, conformity. Yeah. And then judgment, we're going to put it in the middle here. And judgment is to do with gender roles, I guess. Oh, sorry, not gender roles, just roles in general. Gender is one of them. But class is another. And, politics. Okay. So, let's think about this. There are two different views of control and conformity. They are both rejecting them, but they both seek to. They're both rejecting conformity. They're both rejecting, consumerism. Yeah. But we need to think about how they kind of contrast in that. So Davidson sees society as at least modern society is a disease. Yeah, makes people sick. But she, at the same time, she acknowledged that indigenous society is not sick. Is in some way healthy. And we need to unpack why that is. Compared to McCandless, who again sees it as a sickness. All right, but you have to think. He did spend time with people at the at Slab City, and these ideas of the the tramps. But is that really what he's after? He doesn't spend time with these people to learn about anything, right? He might in some way admire them, want to be them, but ultimately what he does is he rejects all of that and tries to be totally isolated. Yeah? So he becomes isolated for the sake of isolation, whereas Davidson over here, she becomes isolated in order to be more like a healthy indigenous society. So I think there's a view that could, or an argument could be said, and quite rightly, that he respects Slab City, and I think that's right. But to what degree? I mean, he doesn't live the rest of his life there trying to learn their wisdom, right? He leaves and he goes and spends his time in a magic bus, right? Whereas Davidson spends all of her time trying to connect to enter this Aboriginal reality, doesn't she? You know what I mean? So that's her goal. Her goal is not to become totally isolated. Her goal is to to become healthy, and the rejecting control. That's how they contrast in that. In order to escape the control of modern society, Davidson finds another society that doesn't have that kind of control, whereas McCandless just kind of leaves off on his own. Even when he finds one that kind of doesn't have the same kind of controls. So, judgment, we've talked about this a fair bit, but imposed or self-attributed. Gender roles, class roles, politics. And again, same kind of thing, right? Like, when he finds somebody which is pretty value neutral, he still rejects that, and he still goes on to spend time all by himself. Authentic relationships. Why are people so bad to each other? You have to think about his parents. Yeah. In Davidson, we have to think about racism, even sexism. Why is that? And it might be that racism, sexism, and parental abuse is a form of control and judgment. That it's a way to encourage consumerism, way to encourage conformity, way to place people into a racial role, or a gender role, or a class role, or a politics role. If you can place someone securely inside a box, then it's hard for them to escape. So why is everyone so fucking bad to each other? Well, it might be this form of control. And, how do they vary? Well, Davidson finds a society that she admires and tries to emulate and enter their reality. And McCandless perhaps already thinks he is part of that society. Not only is he already... he doesn't aspire to become a tramp. He already is a tramp. In fact, he's a super tramp. He's a super tramp from the moment he leaves home. And then the only thing that makes him even more super tramp was to become entirely isolated out in the wilderness. Okay, so you need to put that together into a coherent topic.